Hello, everybody. This is the SUMO community meeting on the 14th of March 2018, which is supposedly the Pi Day. So this is Pi Day 314 for some. You can practice all your Pi digits. I wonder how many you know. I think I know around 9 or 8. Well, but yeah, it's super important to remember that. So if you get woken up by somebody in the middle of the night and they ask you about the Pi digits, you should at least know 5, right? I hope we're live on Mozilla because we got a message from MKL, but that we're not. But we just went live a second ago, thanks to Khan and the Airmo team. So we should be live and direct. So if you're watching this recording on Mozilla, we should be live now and recorded later for your pleasure. We have quite a packed agenda and only a few of us in the room, so I think we can jump into it straight away. I'll just make sure that the IRC folks know what's what, and then we can get moving. Okay, so yes, all the tabbing, that's me. Let's start with the agenda then. On the cool news of the week site, we have we can finally reveal the name after some voting happened. So I'm pretty sure some of you will be delighted to know that with 32% of the votes, which is quite a lot given the amount of options in the second round of voting, we have a name for the mascot slash avatar slash virtual team member slash virtual admin, and the name is Tasukete. So this is coming from Japanese, and it means helper, if I remember correctly. I should have done some more research, but yeah, that was it. So thank you very much. We officially have this name deployed online. Let me just look it up. Actually, if it's working already. Yes. I'm just going to put the URL there, and we are going to be using this profile in the near future for different things, for messaging the whole community as nobody in particular, for doing some sheriff work when we remove spammers, stuff like that, just to make sure that we also actively use that additional 7th lucky virtual team member. And once again, thanks to everybody for voting and for your ideas. Oh, it means help me in Japanese. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we're going to have a lot of Japanese users right now coming in and asking for help. I don't know if this is a good thing or not. But anyway, we don't have an avatar as in a visual representation of this user yet. So if you have any ideas or if you have any proposals, send them our way. Use the forums to propose it, whatever. I want this part of the process to be kind of open so that everybody can talk about it. So if I get any proposals in private, I'm going to share them with everybody else during the meetings, but it would be good to have some visual representation. Could be the nurse, but I think the nurse has served as well for so many years that maybe it's time to retire it and just use something else. Well, this is open as a non-competitive thing, so feel free to get creative and send things our way. Moving onwards, the platform update. The agenda is there. I don't think there's anything on the agenda, so the platform meeting tomorrow may not be happening. However, let me just check. Yeah,
it's every 2 weeks anyways.
More or less. I was wondering if Madalena will want to have this platform meeting given next week's testing and the testing we're going through right now and so on. So there's some news there that I should actually add to the agenda. And Madalena cannot be here because she's in a different meeting. We're really sorry for that. But there is some testing ongoing. There's a thread that I'm going to add to the agenda in a second. And this is all connected with us moving over to AWS as a backend. So there's quite a lot of stuff happening there on a technical side, but if everything goes well, nobody should notice anything on the front end. So yeah, I hope maybe Madalena is going to bring something up regarding this tomorrow in the meeting. You will be informed if the meeting happens, of course. Okay. MKL is really quick. He's already suggesting that we use Foxk. Foxk is super cute, but I don't know if we're allowed to use Foxk. Well, it's all Creative Commons. Well, maybe we'll go for something. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's a very good idea. Then we are able to move to the product updates right now. So Roland, before you leave us in a few minutes, tell us more what's happening based on MKL's totally full list of releases happening this week.
Hello. Yes, I've been sick, but we did have a release yesterday. Some good QA folks and engineers worked over the weekend to fix a bug in search results. I think we are throttled, probably at 25%, which means only 25% of people will get updates. And we do have some bugs that we have found. There is one about hardware acceleration, and we're not sure how major that is. Some folks report their web pages aren't rendering unless they turn off hardware acceleration. And there are other things that I haven't really gotten on top of. We also had a Firefox for Fire TV release today, and that gives us Rocket Turbo mode by default. It gives us a better UX. It just keeps getting better. And I haven't had a chance, but of course there was a Firefox for Android 59 release yesterday as well. Do you want to add anything, Rachel, on what you found in social or anything from a product point of view?
Yeah, so if you take a look at the links down below, some of you have already posted on this. It looks like the search bug was backed out, and we're still seeing some crashes with NVIDIA drivers. So if you see anyone with crashes, please do escalate that so we can get sort of the volume there. I think Philip's already on it, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. But if anyone also saw corrupt profiles after updating, as well as any issues with add-ons, these are things that we've seen before. We've got some answers. We just need the specific names, etc. But other than that, not too big of a release. If you're interested in the details of what changed, those links is where I would send you to. Yep. Yeah, just let us know if you see more than 2 of the same issue, and we'll start investigating.
Perfect, yeah.
Cool. Let me just check IRC.
Thanks,
there are
Roland.
no. Thank you very much, Ron. Thank you, MKL, also for providing all those really cool updates in the product section. There's been quite a lot of stuff happening, indeed. So thank you very much for being on top of everything and staying with us and with all the users who are going through the same changes and updates as we speak. Moving on to the contributors of the week. We have 3 nominations there, and you can, of course, as always, add more. First of all, everybody who contributed to our kind of unofficial localization effort when it comes to getting a banner up for next week's temporary freeze of the site or the read-only mode. There's a thread that Rachel put up a while ago, and we have people who contributed there and put a lot of nice effort into making sure that we can show this message to users in different locales. So thank you very much. Do check the thread if you haven't seen it yet, or if you have and you're wondering whether your language is actually there. It is fairly useful for everybody who's going to visit the site to have this information. So by all means, help us out if you can. Also, huge thanks to Jarmo for stepping up, saying, okay, we need Finnish in SUMO and willing to do something about it. We are discussing things with Jarmo through PMs and not only. So yeah, hopefully we're going to get some more action on the Finnish side of things, even though it's a fairly small community or a user base of approximately more or less, of course, 5 million people in the country and so on. But it's definitely one of the more technical nations in Europe. So who knows? Maybe we're going to have a lot of Finnish people saying hello. I actually forgot how they say hello. I think they just say hey. That's it. Soon in the forums. Also, Mick, he did quite a lot of nice stuff with CSS for the site. So I'm going to explain this in a second. And we also have a nomination for the entirety of the Firefox release team for catching some last-minute bugs during the throttle 25% of users update. Indeed, there was still stuff kind of boiling. Like the lava was just forming into a rock, and then they still managed to fix a few things. That was very good. Okay, moving onwards to the knowledge base and alternate updates. We've had over 390 revisions in the last 7 days in preparation for 59, so that's quite a lot of action, of course. Huge thanks to everybody who contributed. There may be some leftover content. I did send some annoying or less annoying messages to people involved in localization. If you haven't been pinged by now by me, or something happened, you didn't get the message, it's always healthy, it's always good, it's always safe to check the dashboards for your locale and see if everything is okay, more or less okay there. There were a few pieces of content that were supposedly ready, absolutely published, but they were not marked ready for localization yet. So that's for a reason. Thank you for asking, but if something is not marked as ready for localization, you don't have to touch it. Like it may be there, it may be live. For many reasons, it may just not be pushed as ready for localization yet. Sometimes it's about the feature being delayed, or there's a bug popping up and we're not going to actually be informing people that there's something created or added to Firefox. Sometimes, like in this case with the iOS content, Firefox for iOS, something is going to happen, like the release is going to be added later. The release is going to happen later, so there will be new features added later and not with the big push this week. So waiting for that is always bit of a exercise and test on your virtue, but yeah, you can totally do it and be patient. And then huge greetings to the Hungarian Free Software Foundation people meeting this week, working together on localizing things into Hungarian, including SUMO stuff. So that's very nice. That's very good news from Balázs. So thank you, Balázs, for letting me know about this. And I already mentioned that Mick did an awesome job with CSS. Please do help us test his little hack for reviewers of KB content in English or in any other locale. But generally, we decided to test side-by-side reviews rather than content with top and bottom. So take a look how this works. It's fairly easy to use if you're knowledgeable about changing the CSS of a site using any of the extensions that we have for that and user styles in general. So there are 2 threads, the same ones in 2 different places explaining how to do it. And if you have any questions or comments, or if you want to say, this is great, or you can say, also, this is terrible, please tell us why in those threads. Having said that, I'm just going to take a very quick look on IRC and pass the microphone over to Rachel for the support forum and social support updates.
I will read the script that has been submitted for support forums. I will sound like a robot. The site will be ready in read-only mode on the 19th at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 o'clock UTC, for about 4 hours. Even though it is the second week of the release, it is the time most people will have received the automatic update for 59, and they will not be able to submit a question. In this announcement that will include the text, it will provide an alternative place for people to ask their questions. Some of them that they can choose from are Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Firefox support at email. This has been long retired, but apparently it's still active, as well as an IRC. We have put these in the order of preference, hoping that people will click on the channels that we expect to have the most volume, and any other partner sites like Mozilla Zine, etc. Originally written by Rachel, MKLL, submitted. Thank you very much. Yes, so as mentioned earlier, we have a request to help translate this message for the different locales offered that offer support questions. You still will be able to search and access links directly from common responses, etc. So we're going to try to prepare common responses in a document, if you need them, in the SUMO Day Etherpad. As mentioned earlier, these are the 2 links conveniently posted in the Etherpad for Android features and desktop features to keep an eye out for when people ask questions in 59. Or also use this post to add issues that you're noticing with 2 or 3 more people experiencing the same issue so that we can get that escalated to the proper teams. Any questions before I go to social support? We need to ask the author for permission. I was just joking. Check the CMAR wide hops deviantart.com. So these are arts. So the arts, yes. When you choose art, you always want to ask permission from the author to give the proper licensing from the user's criteria. That didn't make a whole lot of sense, but basically what I was trying to say is that copyright for publish content online, best option is always to check with the user for permissions to use that art. I'm going to move on to social support. Since the SUMO forums will be down in read-only mode on the 19th on some parts of SUMO Day, actually SUMO Day is the 20th, so Monday, the 19th in the morning, social support team may be busier, so we could really use your help. Please do know that you are not alone and that users in the contributor support forums will also be online in IRC and in other partner like Reddit, as well as Facebook and the other partner sites listed for your locale. Here is how you can get started. Check out the social support guidelines. We're always loving new people, and if you sign up in the form that is in that link, you will get a special, not notarized, you will get a personal email from me. Also, tomorrow is SUMO Day, Thursday and Friday. Are you ready? Please do say hello, sign up in the Etherpad. There are 2 new responses you can check out. We added to the reply tool, as well as the common responses, how to use safe mode, and how to look up bugs and bug updates. I will fix the grammar in the Etherpad after the meeting. And that's all I have. Back to you, Mihal.
Thank you very much, Rachel, for all the updates. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think that the image part there was indeed about getting the icon up for our Tasukete persona. So I actually have to learn how to pronounce it properly. Maybe it's Tasukete, maybe it's Tasukete, maybe it's Tasukete. I don't know. I'll learn and I'll be using it properly soon. Don't worry. Anyway, yeah. So if we want to get any images up on the site and have that image used, let's say as an avatar for our support persona, we definitely need to ask the owner for permission or the author for permission, unless it's Creative Commons, which is true for Foxk. But then again, Foxk is a separate entity. I don't know if we want to mix them. What happens if you know, I mean, we shouldn't be like crossing the streams and stuff. Anyway, okay, we have a bunch of things in the joke section, so do take a look. There are some really interesting things about IoT and whatnot. And indeed, we are more or less at the end of the agenda, but a good reminder, indeed, SUMO Day is happening. So thanks, MKL, for reminding everybody one more time. We have things happening. There is an Etherpad for this. You can sign up, and you should sign up. If you have never done it, it's really fun. If you've done it before, come over and stay for the new people. Yeah, we will be keeping you informed about the partial outage or the read-only mode of the site. It won't be anything as traumatizing as any type of migration before that we may have had. So it's going to be fairly smooth, and there's going to be enough testing. And like I said earlier in the meeting, the front-end users should not notice anything much, and the site should run smoothly and be fully functional after the migration is completed. But yeah, more about that soon. You'll be there, we'll be there. We'll see you all. Thank you very much for attending this meeting and for watching the recording later on. Take it easy, and we'll see you soon.